All right, welcome back to another Zero Downtime podcast. I'm joined here today again with Logan Wood. How you doing today, Logan?
Doing well, John. Thanks for asking.
Hey, yeah, no problem. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about the Starlink kill switch. It's the first time I've ever heard of this happening. The scourge that is WebP, and I think that maybe you can actually provide some insight on that since you're in the web development field.
I like that you used the word actually. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. We're going to talk about CES and about how it's a whole bunch of the same thing over and over and over again. And we're going to talk about why maybe this year could be the year of the Linux desktop. It won't be. But before we get started, I have a couple of things that I want to make sure you get clipped real good here because I have some questions I want to ask the community that's been watching our videos and following.
Okay.
Travel 2026. You got any more plans to go anywhere?
We're going to see some family out in Virginia.
Virginia?
But that is what I only have scheduled so far.
Okay. All right. Well, I plan to go to Argentina and in July.
Okay.
And I've been looking at kind of where I could stay in Argentina. Obviously, Buenos Aires is like the place to be. It's the capital. But there's also mountains and other towns. So I'm curious for our listeners, anybody out there, where would be a good place to stay in Argentina? I want to see if you can comment on the video.
Yeah.
And tell me, because I was doing a little research on Buenos Aires this weekend, and they have a subway system, bus system, all of that. So getting around the city is actually pretty easy.
And you probably should let listeners know when you go, you usually stay for a little while. So you're not looking for a weekend visit.
Correct. Yeah. No, I'll probably go for 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. So I'm planning on being back for the last week in July in our school district here. The last week, they call it Dead Week. So they're not allowed to do sports, and essentially the school is shut down. So we can get a lot of stuff done in 1 week, or we have to get a lot of stuff done in 1 week. So I'll be back for that this year. I missed it last year, but I'm planning my trip differently this year. So now that it's 2026 and you've had a little bit of time to marinate, you got any big goals, big plans for 2026?
I think one of my biggest focuses will be figuring out more internal systems so I can work more on the business and less in it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because for me, you know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be very hands-on.
Ownership and everything, and also the busiest employee.
Yeah. And I think another big one too is creating more organic content.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I tell that to about any customer that'll listen on the marketing side. Really, it should be on any side, but just a goal to have.
Sure. Well, and on that note, we don't get monetized for this podcast, right? No, we don't make any money on anything. And if we did, you're just stealing it from me.
Yes. That's awesome.
I did look actually on Facebook. We're really close to being able to get monetized based on our shorts and everything. So I'd like to ask everybody out there, if you enjoy this podcast or enjoy our shorts, I would ask if you subscribe to us, follow us, and like our content, and of course comment on anything you see. I do my best to reply to stuff, and I think Logan's going to get me on our TikTok account so I can start writing back people there, because apparently we get a lot of comments on TikTok that I haven't seen. So I'm excited about trying that out and seeing what I can rile up.
What kind of goals do you have, John?
You know, I don't really have anything specific.
Okay.
I think, continue the growth of A&P. Try to see if there's other communities out there that we can expand to and grow into. So I think that's probably my biggest goal for 2026 is to focus on A&P. In the beginning of A&P, we didn't really have customers sign contracts.
No.
And which I thought I was doing them a favor, because you can leave us at any time, whatever, if you're not happy. And it was like a customer service thing. I've actually come to the conclusion that it's actually kind of a bad thing because it doesn't define what we do. And so to get customers to understand that maybe a contract is actually a good thing, because it's exactly what we're going to cost. It's exactly the services that we provide. So getting customers to understand that and getting some longer term contracts in place for them so they can budget for their 2026 and 2027 and further on.
And it's not like we're raising the prices.
No, I'm not raising the prices at all.
So it's just having a more clear outline, I guess you would say.
Yeah, everybody knows what everybody does. I think it's just what happens when you grow up. You get more organized, and you things become more thought out and less hectic.
And expectations. Like it'll outline if people have different expectations or we're actually providing more than they even realize.
Right.
It's just that clear outline.
So last night I was out in the brew house. We got a call about some potential backdoor access to some systems, and I was working on checking it out and helping Matt. I was talking to Matt on the phone, and we were kind of working it out together, what was going on and how this person was doing what they shouldn't be doing, and kind of laying out the whole thing. And I get a text from my wife, and I don't remember what it said, but it was something along the lines of, they're cutting Oliver's hair. So anybody out there who's listening who doesn't know, my son, who is going to be 16 here next week, had blonde hair down past his shoulders. And I have a picture here. I took a picture. So since this show's coming out in like a week, so the kind of everything will be out.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh, you're not joking on cutting his hair.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it.
His hair.
It buzzed his hair. Apparently, a number 5 is really short.
Yeah, especially when you have long hair. Does he feel naked?
I said, does your head feel cold or anything? He's like, no, not at all. So I haven't talked to him yet this morning.
When's the last time he had short hair?
I had a picture come up, probably 3 years old.
I was going to say, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen Oliver since I've known him without longer hair. And
it's only ever gotten a trim much past 3. So, and really not much of that. So his idea was that if the swim team makes it to state, he was going to cut his hair. So either he's confident they're going to make it to state, or there's just no way they're going to make it to state.
Although I saw they did well in Waterloo.
They did do well in Waterloo, and I think today they got Mason City and there's a couple more before state. So good luck to the Spencer swim team.
Good luck, boys.
I have one more thing that I wanted to share that I've learned since last week. So I was shopping around for. So I'm not a big Gatorade guy, right? I don't like Gatorade. I don't like Powerade. It's just like, what flavor is blue? Blue Blast? Like, I don't know what that is.
Blue raspberry. There's Frost.
So I was trying to look around for some kind of like hydrating drink, because what I've learned over the years, and I drink a lot of water, and what I've learned over the years is that water is actually dehydrating. Did you know that?
I'm a really bad water drinker.
Okay,
so.
well, good. That's actually a good thing. So I was trying to find something that was so what happens when you drink too much water is your electrolytes leave your body, because you're drinking a lot of water, you're using the restroom a lot. So your electrolyte levels drop down to nothing, and that's what causes hydration. So drinks like Powerade, Gatorade contain a lot of sodium, potassium, the things that you need to recover your hydration. And like I say, I don't really like those drinks. I think there's a lot of unnatural things in them. So I went on the look to see if I could find something that was as natural as I could find that was an electrolyte replacement, and I found it. And I don't have a picture of it here, but I actually found it at Walmart here in town.
Okay.
It's called watermelon water, and it's spelled WTRMLN WTR.
And you like watermelon?
I do like watermelon. And so the ingredients on this are straight up watermelon, lemon juice, and filtered water. 402 milligrams of electrolyte contents. So not a lot of salt, but it has like 7 times the potassium and all that. 402 total milligrams of electrolytes. A sports drink has 120.
And how big of the container is
12
it?
ounce. Same size as a small Gatorade. It's 12 ounce. They're a little expensive. They're $3.
Are they in a package, or you buy them individually?
You buy them individually, and it took me forever to find them because I like the Walmart or the Menards app. You can look around and you can see what aisle you're in.
Yep.
But this aisle doesn't have an aisle. It like has an aisle number, but it's not labeled. It's like you go past the bakery and there's all those health drinks.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had kombucha?
No.
It tastes awful.
Does your watermelon water taste awful?
No, it tastes great because it's literally just those 3 ingredients. It's not kombucha where it's been like fermented and everything else, and it just tastes awful. Kombucha Dr. Pepper tastes nothing like Dr. Pepper.
I can't say I've tried it.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I wanted to just share that if anybody out there is looking for, you can't buy it at Spencer Walmart because I'm going to buy it all, but
they may bring some more in. John.
They may bring some more in, I guess. All right, let's get started. First, we have the meme of the day, and since we're talking about the Starlink kill switch, I wanted to pop this up, and it's Mario pointing at the Wi-Fi logo, and it says off, and it says mobile games, pay $1.99 to turn off ads, me, and then it's turning off the. All right, so obviously you knew that you can turn off your game ads by shutting the Wi-Fi, like basically shutting the data off.
I don't really play games on my phone.
Well, so I have one game that I play,
Okay.
and I'm awful at it. It's Block Blast.
I mean, I played that on our trip to Peru a million times.
Yeah.
But
I'm terrible at it.
I haven't played it
And
since.
it's like one of them things like, oh, maybe I'll get better over time, but I just don't. In fact, I would argue that I've gotten worse because I've never defeated my high score again. All right, Starlink kill switch. So it's not uncommon for governments to have the ability to shut internet off, right? It's especially like governments that are, well, basically the people have no rights. So they call up the ISPs, internet service providers, and say, shut the internet down. We don't want our people being able to communicate with each other, with the outside world. We're going to kind of own it. So this last week in Iran, they were able to kill Starlink. Now, Starlink is one of those things that doesn't care what Iran has to say because the satellites are in space. I mean, they have to care a little because they have to get the license to run in that country.
Okay.
But in reality, they don't have to follow the rules the same as the ISPs do, because if the ISP doesn't follow, they'll just kill those people. Right? So how did they do it? So they didn't just like convince Elon Musk or Starlink to shut it off. They actually jammed the signals. And what does that look like? So in old cars, you used to have the dials that you dial in the radio station. And sometimes if you were between stations or you turn the car just right, it would jump a station.
Yep.
It's similar to that. So they could fly drones. They could have stuff from their towers that are literally broadcasting the same signals that the Starlink is expecting to receive. And all that does is, just like static on a radio, it makes it uncomfortable to use. So while it's not completely dead, it's basically unusable.
Are you going to share why they were killing this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So I thought that was good for you. So I have been so busy at these last couple of weeks since I've gotten back from vacation that I have not had enough time to follow anything but like the 3-state news around here.
Yeah.
I have not had time to read the news. I know there's some protests going on in Iran, and I know there's protests in the United States about Iran, but I have no idea what's going on.
So you have a Starlink.
Yeah.
Yours would still work.
Correct. So what the country of Iran did, so like I say, they've got cell towers and drones and everything else. They'll put the same radios that are transmitting the same signals that the Starlinks are expecting to receive, and they basically blast it right down on the satellites, and that's what'll call the ground satellites, the ground receivers.
Yep.
Blast it onto there, and basically it just confuses the receiver, and it's just full of garbage.
Has Starlink shared like how many people that has affected?
I don't think they have. At least from what I've read, I think that Starlink was kind of hush hush about it. Like they didn't say anything. This was actually reported by another news organization, not Starlink.
Okay.
But it was obvious that the government in Iran did it for whatever reason to prevent people from communicating. So then I got to thinking, so when they do that, they also kill cell phone signals, like everything. Everything is just toast because they do not want people communicating with each other. Large groups of rioters sometimes can use the cell network to talk to each other through local apps, through Wi-Fi, whatever. And so they don't need the cell towers. So it got me thinking, what types of things are out there that would let people communicate back up? So obviously, I'm like a free speech absolutist.
Yes.
I believe that people have the inherent right to talk about whatever they want, to say whatever they want, not without consequence, but be able to say whatever they want without the fear of their government killing them. Right?
Yes.
So to me, it's important to figure out how we can basically escape the government control to decide how we can communicate with each other. And there are some solutions. Basically, there's a mesh networks, and what a mesh network is you have a phone, I have a phone, everybody in this riot or protest, let's say protest, not riot, because protesting is okay, rioting is bad.
Yeah.
Everybody has a phone, and they all run the software called Briar. Briar is an Android app, and it uses the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on the phone to bounce messages to the intended receiver. So you could be at the front of the protest, I could be at the back of the protest, and I could send you a message, and even though we're so far away, our phones can't see each other, it bounces to get there. So they're able to communicate without the need for cell towers or anything else.
Okay.
So very, very useful way to communicate without, one, the government seeing what you're doing, and two, without any types of third parties in the way, except for the other Briar people, which probably are part of your group. The other one is Meshtastic, and I've actually researched Meshtastic quite a bit. So Meshtastic runs on 900 megahertz. So 900 megahertz is like it's pretty low frequency when it comes to like consumer products. Like lower than that would be like your buttons for your garage doors that run at like 300, 400 megahertz. But 900 is one of those that, if you remember, you probably don't. Back in the old days, they used to have portable phones, and the portable phones had these really long antennas.
Yep.
Those usually ran on 900 megahertz.
Okay.
We had a baby monitor that ran on 2.4 gigahertz, which is awful. Don't buy those because that's the same as your Wi-Fi in your house, and it's just always static. But we had a baby monitor that was 900 megahertz, and we could take that monitor down to the beach with us and still receive signal. So 900 megahertz blasts through walls, blasts through trees, everything but ground, and it can go a really, really long ways. In fact, in town and in the country, your electric meter and your gas meter, for sure your electric meter here, but I don't know about your gas meter, they use 900 megahertz to communicate what your usage is.
Okay.
They used to have meter readers come around and do all that. They don't do that anymore. It all uses 900 megahertz because it literally blasts through everything. You don't have to aim it. You don't have to do anything. It just works. So what Meshtastic is similar to Briar, but it's a separate device that you carry around, and it runs on 900 megahertz. And it's not good enough for voice, but it is good enough for text and GPS coordinates and things like that. So it goes for miles.
Okay.
So you'll find hikers use it, things like that. But it would also work great in a protest or something where they decide to kill the internet essentially, and they're cheap. It's cheap. $30 gets you a base station, and a base station can run on solar panels.
Okay.
And on a battery, and it's so low power. If it's cloudy for a week, you probably still have a mesh base station that can rebroadcast to other Meshtastic people. So generally, you'll take a base station, put it on top of a building, and then leave it there, and it sees other Meshtastic people. And if it can see you, but I can't see you, and I send a message, it bounces on the base station and gets to you.
Can anyone send a message, or is it only a certain device?
Yeah, anyone can send a message through the device, through the Meshtastic devices.
Yep.
That are also very cheap and open source, and 3D print the case, all of that. Like I say, I got first picture here I have to show is the Meshtastic, what you carry with you. So this is a commercial product, and you can see on it, it's got an arrow to show you the GPS, which way you're headed, and it's got your coordinates and all of that. But this device connects to your phone, so there's just a companion app. So that device has Bluetooth in it, so you keep that in your pocket or your backpack. And then on your phone, it communicates with Bluetooth. So when somebody sends you a message, your phone dings and it goes. But it didn't use a cellular network at all. It used the Meshtastic network. And then this next picture I have is just a simple base station. There's not much to it. It's an antenna and a base Arduino that's running the Meshtastic firmware. And like I say, Arduinos are cheap. $5 get you an Arduino.
So do you have to build out your own, or these are devices you can purchase?
So you can purchase some. That first one for the client, that is a purchasable product.
Okay.
What makes Meshtastic, a lot of M's there, is the software. So as long as you have a compatible Arduino and the correct receiver, the 900 megahertz receiver in the United States, it will just work.
Okay.
And you get an ID, and that's your ID that I can pass to other people, and that's how they can send me messages.
Okay. That's how they keep like their grouping together?
Yeah, similar to like a phone number, but it's not a phone number. All the messages are encrypted too. I forgot to mention that. So you're not sending plain text messages over the air. You're sending encrypted messages that only the receiver can read. So even if there was a government in the middle trying to stop something, they couldn't read the messages anyways because it uses state-of-the-art encryption, right? All right. Internet. Pictures. When I make this video, obviously, I always do the meme of the day.
Yep.
Which I don't make.
What?
I steal it. And whenever I get a WebP file, it just grinds my gears.
And why does that grind your gears,
Because while WebP is supposed to be supported everywhere, I can't just drop it in this Google slide video. It doesn't work. I can't put it in a PowerPoint presentation. I can't attach it to my Word document. WebP is awful. Tell me why it's not.
I don't have a reason to tell you why it's not awful. Gosh.
WebP was promised to be a savior. Like it was going to be the thing that made image formats perfect on the internet. And I know of two places, we talked about this a little last night, but I know two places that WebP happens, and that's Shopify and Reddit.
Okay.
I don't know anywhere else that like religiously uses. And in fact, I was using WebP for a different project with WordPress, and WordPress would take the WebPs, but it treated them differently.
Yeah, when you upload them, they do treat them a little bit different. The biggest one I knew was Shopify.
Yeah.
For them still supporting it.
Right. And I never looked deep down at the size of the files. Are they much smaller than a JPEG?
I mean, the whole point, like for them, is for like the optimization and for how fast it's supposed to load back out to you.
But wouldn't that be the size?
It would be. I mean, if you think most people are taking a picture that they have and just uploading it straight.
Oh, probably a lot.
So they're not taking it into like Photoshop or resizing them down to like a web optimized size.
Okay.
Like they're just taking them, throwing them up.
Okay.
So when you have those full resolution photos that, let's say you had a photographer taking beautiful products of everything in your store, and you put it all up, those are huge.
Right.
Like that slows down your site.
Okay.
So that is why different places do put in these mediums to help load your site.
But when you upload a JPEG to WordPress or you upload a JPEG to Reddit or whatever, it doesn't, well, I don't know about Reddit, but it doesn't convert it to WebP. If the goal was to take somebody who's taking pictures and then they give you a USB stick with all the pictures so you can upload them to your website, you would think that the person that doesn't understand WebP or anything else that are trying to upload to the website software would convert those to WebP if it was so valuable.
True. And they don't. Even Shopify keeps your original copy and then makes a new WebP file and presents that.
Yeah.
You can always get back to your original.
Yeah. I don't know. So it sounds like maybe Shopify converts to WebP.
That's how I take it as.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but I believe that you can always get back to your original JPEG. It's not like your original photo isn't available.
Now, I'm not trying to knock the guy who tried to solve the problem of all these image formats on the internet, but he did just add one more image format on the internet.
I was like, most of the time, I feel like they're either a JPEG or a PNG. And if you're going on the web, I usually just say JPEG because you can get those a lot smaller than you can a PNG.
Right. PNGs are usually a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
PNGs,
they're better clarity.
Yeah. PNGs, you could have transparent background, all that kind of stuff.
And sometimes you have to have that.
Right. But yeah, agreed. Anyways, it seems that the powers that be have decided that WebP is already outdated. And I came across this making this episode as well, which is why it's here. And that's the AVIF format. And I'm going to call it the AVIF. I don't know if that's the right name.
I have no clue.
So, and it's supposedly better than WebP because the files are smaller, they're better quality, they support HDR, and they have a higher bit depth. Do you have any experience with AVIF files?
I don't. And when I saw your slide, every once in a while, John will actually pre-share the show with me. I had went and looked, and I had saw that Shopify is already, for most modern day browsers, will present your images in that format already.
Well, I guess if GIMP continues to support all these formats, then at least I can get them to a decent format.
Correct.
When I steal them and I put them in the show notes.
John likes to say borrow.
It's mine now. So yeah, I guess just to wrap up the WebP thing, it was like sold as like a universal thing that just became, in my opinion, another noise on the internet.
For instance, if you're using WordPress, they have a lot of different plugins that you can put in that like optimize your images. So for the people that are just uploading full high res, that you can put image optimizers on, that the second you upload it, it saves it down and then presents it to the web.
Okay.
So I am guessing WebP was supposed to be just doing that as well.
Sure.
But
It seems that WebP is now just essentially a bridge between JPEGs and PNGs to AVIF, and it will disappear. And JPEGs and PNGs will still remain.
I was like, we'll see how AVIF lasts, if it's just another WebP or if it does really take hold.
I just hate that I can't double click on it when I download it, and I can't just use it. I guess it makes I'm just lazy, but I just hate that I just can't use it. It's one extra step to convert it to the JPEG. All right, let's talk about CES. I've never been to CES, but I usually catch the highlights. And this is a bonus episode if you didn't know.
I'm excited.
We have another meme today, and it's Marty McFly sitting at the table. If you've seen the original Back to the Future, they're watching TV, and he's sitting there with his mom, doesn't know it's his mom. I won't wreck the movie, because you've probably never seen Back to the Future, have you?
I have seen Back to the Future.
And the dad rolls out the TV, and they're watching, I don't remember what show, and Marty says, "Hey, I've seen this one before," and no one had any idea what a rerun was. Well, that's how I'm feeling about CES when I watch the highlights from CES. AI everywhere. And just because somebody adds AI to something that already existed, I don't think makes it better. Oh, my fridge now has AI, or my TV, or robots, or glasses, or toothpaste. Right?
There was toothpaste?
Toothbrushes.
Okay.
I just don't know that adding AI to stuff anymore is going to be a game changer. Let's take the toothbrush, for example. We've had toothbrushes around for a really, really long time. And we have the standard ones that I use. Then you have the electric ones like my wife uses and my kids use. And they have the sonic ones, and they have the water picks, and they have all the different kinds of toothbrushes. And there's certain rules about brushing your teeth, right? It's like 15 seconds aside or whatever it is, right? Well, how is AI going to make that better?
Will it just track your tendencies?
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Using it as just a thing that makes this thing seemingly better, I don't know that it makes it better. You know what I want my fridge to do? Cool stuff.
You don't want it to track what's in there.
Well, okay.
What you took out?
When I moved to town, I had a fridge from the 70s. That thing was a beast. Like, it made stuff cold, and that's what it did. It didn't do anything else. It didn't make ice. It didn't do anything. You had to have the little trays. How long do fridges last now? 5 years?
Our basement fridge came out of Darcy's grandparents' farmhouse when they were moving out.
Yeah,
and it is the best fridge.
That's an old
it's
fridge.
The best pot beer fridge ever.
Yes, the old fridges just work.
Yep.
Why do we need to add AI to the fridge? Oh, probably to tell you that it's not working. Oh, hey, your fridge is warm. Like, we've made these things so complicated that don't have to be complicated. I understand. So like I know Roomba went out of business, but there's other like floor robots and stuff that they've added AI. Is that good? Maybe something like that is like in my opinion, a floor sweeping robot is kind of a technological breakthrough.
Yep.
It's something that really truly does help you throughout the day. Maybe not, you still got to vacuum your floor, but it kind of in between the vacuumings, you can keep a cleaner floor. And adding AI to that helps you detect dirtier spots, or helps it remember like, hey, every day I have to go back to these things, or it seems like these are always the dirty spots. So it always picks those. So between the cleanings and the normal vacuumings, it focuses on that. All right, maybe AI, I'll give you there. And glasses is the other one. I think that AI is good. I'm interested in the tech of wearable glasses with the heads-up display and being able to look at something and have AI solve what it is or help put the parts together. I think about the power of wearing the glasses in an assembly line or in building something. It would give you the next steps. Oh, there's the bolts you need. Grab 3 of those. I think it'd be valuable there because I'm not dependent on those glasses to see.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't pay my subscription, so now the glasses are just black and I can't read anything.
They're just clear. You can see right through.
Smart home. So do you do anything in your house that's a smart home?
The only thing that we would have smart home would be our garage door opener. I just open it from our app.
Okay. And I think, yeah, you've got like you use Apple mostly for like your music, or do you use Pandora? Use
I usually
Pandora.
Pandora.
So really nothing smart there. A couple of years ago, I decided that I wanted to make some of my house smart. So one of the things that when I was growing up, we had a yard light on the yard and we had a switch in the house. And I thought that was a normal thing. Apparently it's not. Well, normally people just have a light that's either on all the time, a yard light that's on all the time, or it's got a light sensor on it that turns it on in the evening. And I didn't even know this until I moved to Spencer out in the country, that Alliant will charge you a flat rate for a yard light. I did not know that.
Like if you just have one?
Yeah, so if it's on, it'll do, instead of like fluctuating the price, it'll be like one yard light is X number of dollars.
Okay.
a month.
Oh, so it's actually in a benefit. If you have one,
correct.
that is just
Yeah.
one price, not okay.
So I'm a big believer, like we shut lights off. I'm kind of a light, follow my kids around and shut the lights off in the house kind of guy.
You'd have a full-time job with Wyatt.
Like this morning, I made Kristen coffee and in the kitchen, and I went and I shut all the lights off as I'm working. And as I'm leaving, there's the bathroom light on and the bedroom light on and like a lamp, and that's it. Even though I had walked all over the house, nothing else was on. Anyways, I decided that I was going to make that yard light on a switch. So we did all the wiring so it was correct, but I had no way to get it to the porch. So I'm like, I'll do a smart switch in the basement, and then with the hub, and I can run it with my phone, and that works great. I actually do really like that. So then I decided I'm going to go a little further, and we've had some water trouble in our basement with the sump pumps quitting, and I'm really good now at watching those. But we smart homed like a water sensor. Basically, you stick in the sump hole, and before it gets too high, and then it'll warn you that there's a problem. So then you can do something, and that works good. So then I decided I was going to do some of my kitchen lights. That's when the problem started. 2 lights worked really, really well. And I'm not an electrician, so I don't know a ton about wiring like 2 switches. When I hit this one happens. But apparently there's multiple ways to wire those, and you need special switches for those. I spent an entire Saturday not getting electrocuted, luckily, switching the way that these switches worked to try to make it work. I could never make it work. So then, to be a glutton for punishment, I decided that Kristen was redoing one of the bedrooms, like the guest room. I'm going to make that entire room smart. Smart outlets, smart lights, smart everything, so I can, really show it off. I've done nothing except put the light bulbs in the lamp, and when they're not connected to a server, they flash every color before they go solid the regular light.
Your guests are going to have quite the experience.
When TJ stayed for a month, he had to deal with that every time he walked in there.
What I need to know is, did you put the kitchen lights back to the way they were?
I did.
Or are they just not working?
I did. Yeah, no, that would have been bad because those are the main kitchen lights. But what I find interesting through my years of trying to work with smart home stuff is every single vendor has a different piece. So if I need to use this, if I want this particular well sensor, I have to buy this hub, or I have to buy this piece, or I have to, it's all separate hubs, all separate apps, all separate ways of adding the devices.
Don't you feel like that is the same across any industry?
I just hate it so much. And there are some smart home open source stuff. What's the name escaping me right now? I've tried it and it works well. It's open source software that lets you add all of your smart home things in one place. But a lot of times if the device requires the hub or whatever, the app, you still have to install all that to put the stuff in the right mode. It's just awful. Why haven't they? I mean, I guess they do have open standards like Z-Wave and other things like that are supposed to make smart home better. But everyone wants to capture you into their silo of smart home stuff.
I really get a couple of your things. Not the whole bedroom thing. Like 2 of your ideas, I mean, just make sense.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you definitely want to track if you're going to have water in your basement and you want to be notified, or that you want to turn your yard light on.
Yeah.
The whole bedroom that you don't use.
Yeah.
That's a question mark for me.
Well, and so you can get really, really cheap smart home stuff off of Alibaba or AliExpress, like really cheap. And it all comes from China, and like the instructions are poorly translated and all of that. So like getting it to work is a miracle anyways. And then once you've done it, but then the problem is 2 years later, all of that just doesn't work anymore because the app doesn't support it, or they've come out with a new standard. It's so stupid.
Best of luck. Who owns your home after you?
Smart home can, in my opinion, they say things like don't drive a mechanic's car, right?
Don't buy a builder's house.
Don't buy a builder's house. I think, being in the IT profession, and a guy who likes to tinker with that stuff, probably don't buy my stuff either.
Not A&P's, just John's.
But you know what? I guess the one thing we got out of CES this year is bigger TVs, because everybody always needs a bigger TV.
Always. You had a whole segment. One of our first podcasts where it was on the 90-inch TV at Walmart.
Also, did you know the UK requires you to buy a TV license?
For every single one?
Yeah. So when you go and you buy a TV, you have to pay the government a license fee to use the TV to watch like the BBC.
Wow.
Yeah. They actually, so it was easier back in the tube TV days. So in the tube TV, so they actually have these vans, and the theory of if these vans actually work or not is still out there, right? Like it was just maybe a Gestapo tactic, right? To make it so you paid the bill of this, you got the state van driving around the neighborhood.
Searching for TVs?
Searching for unpaid, unlicensed TVs.
Someone had some free time.
Well, supposedly that the flat screens are harder to detect, but they can. Whatever. I don't know if I believe them or not, but they can detect it. And yeah, you have to pay a license fee to watch your TV in the UK. It's a one-time fee, luckily. It's not a yearly fee or anything.
I mean, that sounds bizarre.
It does sound bizarre.
Who does that go to?
The government. Well, it helps fund the BBC.
Okay.
So, yeah, state-funded media, basically. You help fund
Do
the
they just
state-funded
feel,
media.
I mean, people are probably just so used to it, it doesn't even.
Oh, no, there are TV pirates out there that refuse to pay the fee. And the question is if I only ever use my TV to look at or to have Apple TV or one of those other devices, I don't need to pay the fee. Of course, the government's going to say you have to pay the fee no matter what. And I think, I don't know exactly how much the fee is, but I think it's pretty substantial.
Okay.
And so it's not like, oh, here's $10. It's a couple $100 to license your TV to watch.
That'd be more than some size TVs.
And I know this is going to be controversial to you, but I'm going to say it anyways. Shocker. The one takeaway I think that I've learned from kind of like digging through what CES did brought me back to a Steve Jobs quote. And he says there's no sex in it anymore. And what he meant when he said that was there's no emotional pull to the technology that's being created, like no desire in it. It's just the same old stuff every year. It's not making your life better. And in some cases, it's making your life worse. So I'm hoping what I want to see in CES before that. Have I ever told you my theory on the Olympics?
You know, John, it's coming up in February.
I know.
What is your theory?
I was gonna save this for the Olympics, but I think this fits. So in the Olympics, you're not allowed to have drugs in your system. Like they'll check you for drugs, right? And one of the things I was gonna do before I talked about this, and we can talk about this when the Olympics gets closer, is I'm curious when they had the first Olympics, how many of those people had drugs in their system, right? I want to see a real Olympics. I want to see what the human body can do. Like, pump them full of drugs if that's what they want, and let's see what they can do.
Your own version of the Olympics.
Like, Lance Armstrong famously, not Olympics, but Tour de France, famously drugged himself, took blood out of his system, got so clean, did the blood test, went back, pumped himself full of the old blood again. So he was drugged, right? Why not let those guys just be drugged? And let's see what they can do. Let's smash records.
Could have its own category.
I don't think so.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. I mean, because I think what it would end up happening is the Olympics where nobody's drugged, nobody would watch it. because the other Olympics is so much better.
It'd probably be a little crazy.
It would be awesome. Like you get steroid rage and everything. Oh, it would be so much fun to watch.
New form of entertainment television.
So what I found interesting is that there's a lot of things that are banned at CES that you can't come in and you can't present. Like, for example, I think it would be fun to have perimeter drones. Literally, the idea is that you've got drones that are patrolling your house at all times. They fly back to charge up, and then they fly back out, and they're just perimeter. Maybe they have guns, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Yours would.
Of course, non-lethal defense systems. I don't think that you can do much of that stuff at CES, and it would be nice if you could, because I think there's a huge market for something like that. Behavioral detection, so kind of like lie detector stuff for home use.
You're gonna strap your kids up?
The Consumer Electronics Show. Yes, strap your kids up and let's see what they're lying about. Your house is basically what I'm talking about here is physical security. So basically your house tells you if you should call the cops or not. It helps you make the decision if you could handle the threat yourself.
What kind of assessment would you have to go through for your house to know, like, nope, you can take this little guy.
You can handle this burglar. No
he wasn't
big
very
deal.
big.
The other thing that I would like to see at CES is home fusion generators. Right?
Okay.
Nuclear. Running the power at your house. We have groundwater under us, right? We could cool it.
You definitely do.
Everybody does. So, but you can't do that at CES. It's nuclear, I guess. I don't know. But you should be able to have a nuclear generator at your house, and that should be a huge thing that they do at CES.
Have you submitted your ideas?
Banned.
Banned. You're banned from CES?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm glad you thought that. All right, I want to talk about Linux in 2026. So I use Linux every day. Obviously, you probably know that. With a mix of Apple. So I have my iPhone. That's my primary phone. And then I have an iPad like we're doing the show on here today. And then we're using OBS on a Mac Mini. But my daily driver is a Linux machine. I've used Linux since 1999, 2000. I got a copy of Mandrake Linux in a magazine, and I installed it because it was too slow to download. First off, what is Linux? Probably should rewind.
Be a good one.
Linux is an open source operating system created by Linus Torvalds. Linus Torvalds created it. His professor at Helsinki University created an operating system called Minix. Minix is similar to Unix, which is like the father or like the dad of not so much the computer operating system, but a computer operating system where you can chain commands together. So I can take 10 commands and I can tie them all together and they can do one thing instead of having to run 10 commands at once. It was made by Dennis Ritchie and I forget the other guy's name at Bell Labs back in the day. And so it was Unix, and then they became BSD, which is Berkeley, another similar thing to Linux. And then Minix was created by this professor at Helsinki to essentially teach their students how to use Unix without having to pay the Unix fees, because AT&T Bell Labs used to license Unix to places. So Linus Torvalds really liked Minix, but Minix was licensable from the professor at Helsinki. So he decided to write what's called a kernel. So a kernel is what sits between the computer, like the actual things on the computer, the hardware, and you. And it says, okay, this person wants to read these files on the disk. It goes to the kernel. Kernel talks to the whatever it needs to talk to get the stuff to the disk, and then it goes backwards and comes out to the screen. That's what the kernel does. That's what Linus Torvalds wrote, and that's still what he maintains to this day, along with thousands of contributors. He used another project called the GNU project, which was made by Richard Stallman for the utilities. That's where the compilers and all that other stuff came from. Okay, so The operating system is open source. Anybody can mess with it. Anybody can use it. It runs on everything. Like you probably have something on you right now that runs Linux. Like these DJI cameras probably have Linux running on them.
Okay.
So it's everywhere. Where it's been hard to get is in front of people. And as we've moved more towards a web browser based environment where everything you do is in the browser, Linux is becoming more and more and more a thing to use. All Chromebooks in the world run Linux. That's it. It is everywhere. It's just you don't know it. But Steam, I don't know if you're familiar with Steam.
I'm not.
You said you're not a gamer. I'm not a gamer either. But what Steam is Steam is created by a company called Valve. And Steam is like a platform where you can buy games in mass. So Steam has like 2 sales a year, right? Everybody goes and they add all these games to their cart. So that way when the sales come around, you can get the games. So Steam is like a way for indie developers to connect with people and sell their games. Most of those games, up till a little bit ago, only ran on Windows. So what Steam did is they use something called Wine, which Wine stands for Wine is not an emulator. That's famously a lot of Linux stuff use their name as the thing that they're not. So
Okay.
Wine is not an emulator. So what Wine does is it takes real DLLs, the things that make Windows run, and fakes them on Linux. So lets you run Windows programs on Linux. It works. I've used it. It's fine. It's not great, but Steam is changing that, and they're pouring millions of dollars into development of what's called the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck uses Wine to let you play Windows games on Linux, and that's a game changer in the computer business, especially when it comes to gamer people, because gamers are huge. The reason most people get into computers to start with is games. I got into computers because I wanted to play games.
A lot of the people that have interviewed with us, I mean, their love for technology started through games.
That's right. So the idea that SteamOS, which is built on Linux, you'll be able to run all of the games without the headaches of Windows, because there are a lot of headaches with Windows, a lot of ads and everything else, because Windows, if the operating system is free, you're the product, right? So they're going to feed you ads, and they're going to feed you AI, and they're going to take screenshots of you, and they're going to do all of this stuff so they can make more money off of you. Where Linux is open source, the people contribute the code. Generally, if they may work for IBM, they may work for Intel, they may not. They just might be a homebrew project, right? But they're not getting paid directly from the Linux project. They're getting paid from Intel or IBM to do this because people run Linux on their products or use their products to run Linux on. So anyways, I think that with the introduction of SteamOS and how big Steam Deck is becoming, I think that Linux is gonna really have kind of like a revival type. Everybody's gonna understand it and consider it as their daily driver, which I've done since 2000.
I was going to say, for me, because you talk about it all the time, I wouldn't even think that there would be a revival sort of thing, because it's just so much part of your life.
Well, it didn't come without struggles, right? You'd be sitting in a class, like I don't remember what the class was, but I took a class, and we all had to have laptops, and we had to bring our own laptops, and I had mine formatted in Linux, and the teacher needed one specific program that was Windows only, and I didn't realize it, and I was in class already. And so I'm like struggling to try to get it running in Wine and trying to get it, like it was awful. I don't even remember if I got it running or not, or if I just cried.
I just cried.
But that's pretty much what I have for today. I think the takeaways from this podcast are, yes, CES I think had a bad year, but I think it only lasts for a minute, and I think that real true innovation will come yet again. Everybody's kind of just stuck in the AI is the king.
Do you think people are just like, obviously, if your competitor puts it in, you practically have to put it in to compete?
Yeah.
Do you think that was just a lot of it?
Probably. I mean, we kind of, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, we talked about buzzwords and about how people latch on to buzzwords. And I think that that's what it is. AI is the buzzword that everybody's talking about. And yes, it's great. Yes, it's life-changing, game-changing. But I don't know. We still don't have barcode scanners in our fridges. Like, I don't know. I'm out of milk. Can I scan it so it adds it to a list? Yeah, some fridges have it. It seems like it could be a universal feature that everyone would use.
Yeah.
Why aren't they taking time to integrate APIs with Hy-Vee or Walmart or Kroger or whatever to be able to scan a barcode and it adds it to the list and it adds it to your cart at Kroger at Hy-Vee, so you don't have to think about it. You go click the button to finish the order and click it on the fridge. I don't care. And all of a sudden now there it is. That's a useful feature.
Yeah. Look at you just dropping $1 million ideas.
Well, so I had a few years ago, I created a program that ran on a Raspberry Pi that used a handheld scanner that did actually add the stuff to the Hy-Vee cart. I don't know if you remember that.
Now that you're talking about it, I do.
Yeah. And I mounted a Raspberry Pi under the counter in my kitchen and I hung a light off of it. So when you scanned it, you'd wait for the light to shut off and then you knew that product got added to the cart. And then Kristen could just click the button to check out. And that was, you had all the stuff that was scanned. Of course, the kids used that to their advantage as well. And essentially the project died after that.
There wasn't enough overhead.
And I think that back to the first thing we talked about with the Starlink being jammed and all of that, I think that making sure that we keep the power to communicate with the people is important. So Meshtastic, Briar, all those programs like that, it's important that we support those projects.
So I have a question.
All right.
For my John knowledge question of the day.
All right.
Obviously, these are for listeners, more of our customers as well. What is the difference between memory and storage, and how do they affect performance?
All right. So memory, well, I'm going to just say you're talking about RAM.
Yes.
Okay. And storage, your hard drive, where you store your files, your programs. All right. So when you double click on a program, say I want to run Photoshop, what it does is it reads it off of the storage and loads it into memory. And then it executes the program to you. So where it's important is a fast hard drive will read the program into RAM quickly. Fast and a lot of RAM will make it so it opens to you quicker and load faster. If you don't have enough RAM, what happens is the program then has to load in Linux, it's called swap. And in Windows, it's called, I can't remember, but it basically uses your hard drive as RAM if you don't have enough RAM on your computer. And that obviously perfects performance because hard drives are slower. So the difference is essentially getting the program versus presentation. So RAM helps with the presentation. Hard drive is where all your files are stored.
So if someone was going to purchase a new computer, should they put more into the hard drive or more into the RAM?
It depends on the user. So for me, writing software, a lot of times the SDKs, the development environments, are large. And so I choose more hard drive space than I do memory. And I know that's probably controversial. Oh, if you're a developer, you should have a lot of both. I don't know. When I'm developing, I don't have a lot of other stuff open. So I find 16 gigs of RAM works fine for me. But I need all the storage space I can get because when I use Flutter, so when I create a package in Flutter, a program in Flutter, it's a few gigabytes. And then the Android SDK is huge, and the iPhone SDK is huge. But for example, when we were developing the City of Spencer project, I bought a Mac Mini, the cheapest one I could find, because I needed to compile for iPhone, which you can't do unless you rent a cloud server or whatever. And I just wanted it in my own place, and I bought it with the smallest storage I could get, and it didn't have enough storage to run the Flutter application I was creating and install the iOS SDK. That's all I put on it. So in my case, I would choose more storage, more faster storage than I would more RAM. But if you're a person that likes to game, a person that is very resource intensive, so you run software that does a lot of mathematics or things like that, then you'd probably decide on more RAM.
Perfect. That's all I have for you today.
All right. Well, it was a good one talking to you here today, Logan.
Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.